Imagine waking up not just to a new day, but to a new chance. Before the notifications, the emails, the noise, there's a sacred pause. A quiet space where you get to choose the tone of your day, the strength of your mind, and the energy you bring into the world. In Buddhism, mornings aren't just a time to open your eyes. They're a time to open your heart. There's a powerful, practice-simple, but life-changing, where you speak 5 lines to yourself each morning, not to manifest something outside you, but to realign with the truth within you. These 5 affirmations aren't just positive thinking, they're anchors, roots, reminders of who you are beyond the chaos. They are rooted in the essence of Buddhist teachings: gratitude, impermanence, compassion, wisdom, and inner peace. Say them not like a mantra to be memorized, but like a truth you're ready to live. Say them slowly. Let them enter you. Let them guide you. Because how you begin your day is often how you live your life. Line 1. I am grateful for this new day. Gratitude is not a polite habit. It's a spiritual revolution. When you start your day by saying, I am grateful for this new day, you're not just acknowledging time, you're honoring life itself. You're saying, thank you for this breath. Thank you for another chance. Thank you for the lessons I don't yet understand. Gratitude in Buddhism isn't just about being thankful for good things. It's about seeing everything as a teacher, even the difficult, even the mundane. A Zen monk once told a student who complained about waking up early, even the morning you resist is a gift someone else would beg for. There was a man I once knew, a Buddhist hospice volunteer, who spent every morning by his window saying his 5 lines aloud. He had lost his wife. He lived alone. But each sunrise, he bowed and whispered, "Thank you for this breath." When asked why, he said, "Because I don't know how many more I get, but I know what I do with this one matters." Gratitude isn't about ignoring pain. It's about seeing through it. It's about saying, even in this, I will stay open. When you begin your day with appreciation, you walk through your life more awake. You stop rushing. You start receiving. So try it tomorrow. Before the world grabs your attention, speak it out loud. I am grateful for this new day. Feel your breath. Feel your heart. And let that quiet thank you shape everything that follows. Line 2. I embrace impermanence. Everything changes. And yet, we resist that truth like it's a flaw in the system. But Buddhism doesn't see impermanence as a problem, it sees it as the path to peace. When you say, I embrace impermanence, you are doing something radical. You are choosing to stop clinging to what will always shift. You are choosing to let life flow, instead of trying to trap it in a moment that cannot last. Think of the seasons. No tree mourns the falling of its leaves. No flower begs the sun to stay longer. The river never complains that it cannot flow backward. Only the human mind resists change and suffers for it. I once met a woman in a retreat who had lost her job, her home, and a close relationship in the same year. When asked how she was still smiling, she said, "Because now I understand what the Buddha meant. I lost what I thought I needed and found what I truly am." She said this line every morning. I embrace impermanence, not to avoid her grief, but to move with it, to say, this too will pass, and so will the version of me that suffered from it. Impermanence doesn't mean detachment in a cold way. It means we learn to hold life gently. You stop grasping for control when you accept that no moment, no person, no emotion is forever. And in that release, something miraculous happens. You start to truly live. You notice the beauty in things while they're here, instead of mourning their loss before they're gone. So tomorrow morning, speak it softly but clearly. I embrace impermanence. And let it teach you how to stop chasing forever and love what's here, now. Line 3. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. In a world that pushes perfection, comparison, and constant self-judgment, this line is an act of quiet rebellion. When you say, I cultivate compassion for myself and others, you are not just asking to feel more love, you are choosing to become love itself. In Buddhism, compassion karu is not just a feeling, it's a discipline, a way of living that starts within and radiates outward. But here's the truth. Many people find it easier to be kind to others than to themselves. We forgive a friend for being late, but beat ourselves up for forgetting a meeting. We comfort someone else's tears, but shame our own. That's not compassion, it's a double standard. Real compassion begins with the self, not the ego, but the inner child, the part of you that's been trying so hard just to be okay. A Zen teacher once said to his student who was drowning in shame, "You don't need to be fixed, you need to be loved." Imagine starting each day from that place. You say, I cultivate compassion for myself and others, and you're planting a seed that softens your judgments, your reactions, your scars. And from that softening comes strength, not weakness. When you're gentle with your own suffering, you stop seeing others as threats. You stop needing to win every argument. You stop taking things so personally. Because you understand, everyone is carrying something, and so are you. Here's a practice. The next time you catch yourself criticizing your own mistake, pause. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe. Say to yourself, even this deserves compassion. That one sentence can change the way you speak, the way you lead, the way you love. So tomorrow morning, and every morning, say it with quiet conviction. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. And then live your day as if you actually meant it. Because if you do, your presence becomes medicine not just for you, but for the world. Line 4. I walk the path of wisdom. This is not a boast, it is a vow. When you say, I walk the path of wisdom, you are not claiming that you already know everything. You're promising that you're willing to learn from pain, from joy, from silence, and from failure. In Buddhism, wisdom panya is not mere intellect, it is seeing clearly. It is understanding the nature of reality beyond appearances, beyond ego, beyond illusion. Wisdom doesn't mean having the right answer. It means having the right view. It means asking better questions. Where is this suffering coming from? What am I clinging to? What is real and what is just a story I've been telling myself? The path of wisdom is not always glamorous. Sometimes it looks like sitting quietly while your world falls apart. Sometimes it means letting go of things you love, because you see they are no longer aligned with your growth. A Buddhist monk once told a story. He was walking through the forest after a long retreat. A bird had fallen from its nest, struggling. He watched it suffer. His instinct was to rush in, but instead he knelt, offered metta, loving kindness, and whispered, even this is part of nature's truth. He didn't save the bird, but he didn't look away from the reality of impermanence either. That is wisdom, not the power to fix everything, but the clarity to see everything as it is. To walk the path of wisdom is to walk slowly, mindfully, and humbly. It means reading the world like scripture. It means recognizing that sometimes silence is the most honest answer, that not everything needs your opinion, but everything benefits from your presence. Here's a daily practice. Before you react to anything, pause. Ask yourself, what would wisdom do here? Not ego, not fear, not pride. Wisdom, because every day life hands you situations that can be met with reaction or reflection. Choose the latter. Choose awareness over impulse. That is the path of wisdom. So tomorrow morning, speak it into your breath. I walk the path of wisdom, and then walk it. Line 5. I am at peace with myself. These words are not a declaration of perfection. They are an offering, a soft surrender into stillness. When you speak the line, I am at peace with myself, you are not saying that everything in your life is perfect. You are saying, I no longer fight who I am. In Buddhist practice, peace is not something you chase. It is something you remember. It's what arises when you stop identifying with the stories of not enough, of failure, of unworthiness. It's what appears when you sit with your thoughts, your scars, and your softness and stop trying to be someone else. The Buddha taught, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. And yet most of us spend years looking for it in others' approval, in accomplishments, in being liked, in being right. We collect praise and possessions, only to find ourselves still restless at the end of the day. True peace, the kind that doesn't shake when the world does comes, only when we stop rejecting ourselves. There's a Zen story of a student who asked his teacher, how do I find peace? The teacher replied, let go of the war. That war? The one you've been fighting against yourself. The one where you blame yourself for every mistake, replay every flaw, compare every part of you to someone else's highlight reel. Let it end. To say, I am at peace with myself, is to lay down your weapons, to breathe into your own being, to stop apologizing for existing. Here's a personal story. There was a period in my life when I thought peace would come only when I fixed everything about myself, my productivity, my past, my body, my relationships. But the more I tried to control, the more exhausted I became. Until one morning, I sat in silence, placed my hand on my heart, and whispered, I accept you. Something cracked open. Not everything healed at once, but the inner war began to cease. That was the first time I truly tasted peace. Peace doesn't come from perfection. It comes from presence, from gentleness, from choosing to be on your own side. Repeat this line every morning, not as a wish, but as a practice. I am at peace with myself, and slowly, like a lotus rising from the mud, your heart will remember. It has always been worthy of peace. The 5 morning lines of a mindful life. Each of the 5 lines is not merely a phrase. It is a thread in the fabric of your awakening. When spoken each morning, not out of habit, but with presence, they gently realign your inner compass and return you to your true nature. 1. I am grateful for this new day. This line opens the heart. It shifts you from survival into appreciation. You stop waiting for life to be perfect and begin to see that it's already a miracle. Gratitude is the ground from which all clarity grows. 2. I embrace impermanence. This line is your freedom. You stop clinging, stop resisting the inevitable tides of change. And in doing so, you start to live. You breathe with life instead of fighting it. 3. I cultivate compassion for myself and others. This line softens the edges. You begin to see that all beings are carrying invisible weights. You turn inward with kindness and outward with gentleness. You stop punishing yourself for being human. 4. I walk the path of wisdom. This line is your compass. You walk not to chase, but to understand. To ask deeper questions. To pause before reacting. You align your choices with truth rather than convenience. 5. I am at peace with myself. This line is your return. It is the full circle. After all the striving, letting go, compassion, and insight, you sit quietly within your own being and say, I am enough right here. I am not broken. I am becoming. A daily ritual, a lifelong revolution. You don't need grand gestures to change your life. You need small, sacred moments, repeated with care. These 5 lines are not magic spells. They are reminders. Reminders that your worth is not in question, that your path is valid, that every morning is an invitation to begin again. This is not a performance, it's a homecoming. You may not feel different on day 1, but on day 20, on day 200, you will look back and realize your mind has softened, your reactions have stilled, your heart opens more easily, and life feels less like a battle and more like a dance. So, tomorrow morning, and every morning after that, say these lines not just with your lips, but with your whole being. Then go live them. Begin your inner journey today. If these 5 lines stirred something within you, not just as words, but as a way of living, then don't let this be just another video you watch and forget. Begin your own morning ritual tomorrow. Say the lines. Breathe with them. Let them shape your mind before the world does. Comment below. Which of the 5 lines speaks to your soul the most right now? Let's create a space of shared insight, because someone may need your reflection more than you know. Share this with someone who wakes up feeling lost, anxious, or overwhelmed. You never know the impact a few simple lines can have. And if this resonated with you, subscribe to The Enlightened Mind for more weekly content grounded in Buddhist wisdom, mindful living, and emotional clarity. Let's walk this path together, not to escape the world, but to meet it with grace, power, and peace. You have everything you need within you. These 5 lines are just the beginning.